welcome to ABL Hot Corner, brought to you by Viva. And tonight we're coming to you from West Beach, the new home of the Adelaide Bite. Brook, Boris, Kilpatrick, Jamie, Jane and Kloeden. Clothes, what do you think of the new surroundings for the Adelaide Bite?
It's beautiful up here on a night like this. Warm, bit of a cool breeze coming through. Just imagine especially up here in the shark tank, where there may be a few beers consumed during the year. Beautiful warm summer, nice cool breeze on those stinking hot days, January, February. It's just going to be unreal.
It looks magnificent. Obviously coming from Nord Oval, where it was a footy oval. Now the boys have got a purpose-built baseball diamond, and it looks pretty damn sweet behind us.
It does, down near the beach. We've got the mound out behind the home run fence for the kids to run around and catch some home run balls, hopefully. Wind might not be helping us out with that, getting the long balls, but no, I reckon she's going to be pretty nice here over the summer.
All reports over the weekend that it was a pretty sweet gig down here. A little bit chilly as the night rolled in, but when it comes to the heat of the summer, I think it'll be just the place to be.
Freezing, I believe, is the word that some people have used for Friday night.
Bring your beanie.
I think
Coming
so.
early in the season, bring your beanie. Later in the season, bring your echo holder. Have a beer.
Plenty of.
So clothes, round two over the weekend. Three big series. Perth Heat bounced back. What did you think of their performance?
Yeah, well, they did pretty well, I reckon, up against the Brisbane Bandits, who, obviously, reigning title holders. Pretty strong lineup. We once again are going to be right in the mix.
I think so.
And probably splitting the series. They'll take that, I reckon.
Yeah, I'd say so. The Perth had a bit of, they sort of struggled week round one. But Brizzy, I think most pundits would agree, will be the team to beat again this year.
Yeah, and Perth had a few of the big bats firing too. Got some good offense from a few of the new blokes as well. So
TK was back.
Yes,
Made
and
a difference.
Ulrich Buljarski.
How good.
He's a gun.
We'll talk about those guys a little bit later, the kids. But so the other series right here, as the Adelaide Bite christened their new home, took home the chocolates 3-1 over the Melbourne Aces.
Yeah, it's facing a couple of familiar faces, Josh Tolles and Dushan Ruzik, a couple of boys that have both played for the Bite.
Locals,
Throwing a lot of innings for them over on the enemy side this time round. So it was quite an interesting series, actually.
It was an interesting series, and of course the Melbourne Aces, who have had massive problems away from home over the journey, came into round two on a big high after a great series in round one, and couldn't get the chocolates against the Bite, who, even though they dropped the first game, won the next three. Yeah,
they're pretty impressive actually, and obviously having the new home field, the home crowd, creating a bit of a buzz here, so it was a good weekend for them, definitely.
Certainly was. Our other series, of course, was the Sydney Blue Sox and the Canberra Cavalry. Bit of a unique series in that the game 4 was played in Wollongong, the Wollongong Classic.
And apparently played in a field with home run fence about 100 feet away from home plate.
The Wollongong Slugfest, they're now calling it. And it was 21-11, I believe, the score was going to be in the end.
35 hits for the game, so there were a few gaps that were found.
And also the Cabs, obviously, they had a bit of a rough trot in round 1-2, but bounced back really well with a lot of offense in the whole series.
And some of the bigger names too, like the Boss was back and he was on fire.
Boss is back.
Candelar's obviously swinging the bat, the ex-Blue Sox.
Yeah, so massive get for those guys. Obviously the Blue Sox wouldn't have been too happy about the Candyman just absolutely crushing it over the weekend.
They did. So yeah, some big bats firing for Cavalry as well.
So fantastic round all round.
Oh, hello. I'm the hairy fairy of Speed-A-Lot, and where I come from, things can get pretty hairy on the road. But you're lucky. In your land, most of the time, most drivers don't speed. Oh, hush now, it's true. Come, let me show you. Hey, see? Here's a normal driver following the speed limit. But some drivers can make things hairy out there. When you go over the limit, things can get hairy. And every 5Ks over 60 doubles the risk of a casualty crash. Hey there, I know that driver's close and you're tempted to start speeding as well. But things could get hairy, and it's easy to stick to the speed limit. Hooray! Tense. You really want to get home, but try and save time on the road and things can get hairy. And you really don't save much time anyway. So let's all slow down before things get hairy, because there's nothing normal about speeding.
Okay, Klodes, getting on to some of the stories of round two, there were some big stories. What was the big story that caught your eye over the weekend?
Well, the big thing was you look across the league, how many kids are out there? Young
It's
guys.
unbelievable. It's like a crash out there, mate.
Look at, we'll start here. We're obviously wearing the wonderful Fever sports gear. With the bite, had two 16-year-olds making pretty big contributions.
Unbelievable. Jack O'Loughlin, just 16. A couple of really impressive appearances so far for the bite. And Kai Hampton as well, got a bit of a piff on the weekend.
Yeah.
Both kids just 16 years of age. Turned back the clock to the days of Kimmy Ashworth, who I believe was 15 when he made his debut for the old Adelaide Giants.
That is turning back the clock.
Yep. Got on the hill for a start.
Yeah.
I think the big man Watsy was all over that during the week, talking about the young kids.
What's he dominating that, the old ABL League?
Of course.
That's for a different night though.
But not just here in Adelaide, of course, in Perth.
Yes.
Detroit Tigers prospect Ulrich Bajarski.
How's that? He's got 2 mentions already this early in the season.
Wrapped up I think 9 RBIs so far in the season and has really looked good.
A few extra base hits early, leaking out triples. So he's making a huge impact straight away. 9 RBIs after 2 rounds.
He's a big kid, 18 years old. He's got a little bit of that Giancarlo frame about him, a bit of height. You know, if he fills out, look out. I mean,
That's a solid comparison right there.
well, you know, maybe
Might be a little
bit of pressure on that.
Far out.
But yeah, all around the league, we've also had a kid from Sydney, Shane Kelleher, also came out. He's 18 years old.
Another 18-year-old, yeah.
Had a really good series in the weekend.
And Canberra, they're taking Crash to another level.
Wow, 15 years old, the kid. Brody Vasilakis.
Yes, that's him.
Vasilakis, yeah, he's pipped out of the pen, thrown a few strikeouts and just 15 years of age. So it's really fantastic to see these young kids coming out performing against the best in the business.
Oh, huge experience for them, and it's only going to help their progress.
Yeah. Any other young fellas maybe from Sydney caught your eye over the weekend?
Yeah, a young bloke called Craig Anderson.
Young Ando?
People that have been following the ABL may not have heard of him before. His career wins number 341 and 342 or something like that.
Unbelievable.
He's 2-0 to start the season, and the wily veteran is just spinning them over and getting it done again, isn't he? Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's so good, and it's just great for these young kids to be able to play against guys like him who've been around for a long time. I mean, imagine the knowledge that he's imparting on those kids in Sydney.
Invaluable. It's amazing that he's still doing what he's doing at such a high level.
Unbelievable.
Just getting it done.
What about any other big stories over the weekend?
Well, the Slugfest, really. Yeah, how can we not talk about that further?
Not sure what's going on in Wollongong, but the air must be pretty rare out there, mate. 21 runs to 11, just unbelievable.
I think half a dozen homers were hit.
Yeah, and the score's going back and forth like a game of the old pub pong, mate. Backs and forwards, backs and forwards.
Oh, look at the box scores were just something you don't see. Just 4-fers and 3-fers everywhere.
Yeah.
Just a phenomenal round.
The Canberra boys padded their stats quite nicely in that last game of the series. And of course, Canberra taking the series 3-1, which has really tightened things up on the table as well.
It has. And obviously, back here again, the big story was, aside from the young blokes playing for the bite and Melbourne coming to town, it was the new facility. And from what we hear, speaking to the big cheese, Nathan Davison, that was a rousing success.
They rose pretty happy. They had quite a few people in. They've got the hill up behind the home run fence where you can sit down with your picnic rug and have a sanger. Get a sanger going out there and watch a few home run balls come out.
Just going back to the old Simpsons of the 90s, don't get a home run ball in the head out in the picnic rug.
Absolutely, well played.
Thank you.
We love a bit of simmos. Standings up 2 rounds closed, pretty damn tight.
I think tight is definitely the word to use. Two games. I mean, obviously we're 8 games in, but
Yeah.
no, there's no no one that's jumped out to a 7-1 record, and no one that's on the flip side of that that's just sucking, for want of a better word.
I think there was a little bit of fear around the league after round 1 that Brisbane might have just gone on to pound teams, and that the rest of the teams might have been up to scratch. But if you look at things,
stopped that, didn't they?
Yeah, and we're going to be adding, guys are going to be added to the roster over the next few weeks. There's still a few blokes that haven't made it yet to our shores.
Oh, there'll be huge changes between now and Christmas Eve. You guys coming in that haven't made it yet. And, some of these pitchers get a few innings under their belt and get stronger, and it's going to mix up a lot in the next few weeks, I think.
So Brizzy 5-3 up the top, with a 1-game lead over pretty much everyone bar the Perth Heat, who are holding up the table at the bottom.
Yeah, that's right.
At 3-5. Everyone else is 4-4. And actually, speaking of guys that are coming to the shores, mate, you haven't seen yet. Your old mate is at Luscious Fox, heading into the league. One of your mates from the Giants, mate.
The Giants, yes.
It's a beautiful thing. But so things pretty tight, and some really interesting baseball still to come.
I think the next couple of weeks will definitely start showing the men from the boys. I think.
Sort out the men from the pigeons.
That too. Well, the stats, Morris.
The stats. Who are the big players? Who are the hot hitters?
I think hot hitters. I think
round 2.
If your name's Perkins, you're going all right.
Tex Perkins.
Not bad. He's in the
Tex
mix.
Perkins. What about Anthony Perkins from Psycho fame?
I'm talking more Kyle and Robbie.
More Kyle and Robbie. Those blokes have been on fire. Absolutely had a sensational series over the weekend, and they are absolutely ripping it up.
And basically, aside from them, if you were in the cavalry lineup,
pretty much everyone. The Sloan Dog
right.
had a few, and the Candyman was pretty much going nuts.
And as I mentioned earlier, Big Boss as well. He's only played the one series, but he's made his presence felt.
Absolutely. Up in Brizzy, we've got a few blokes hitting the pill pretty well.
Yes.
Well.
Kevin Padlow.
Kevin Padlow, the import, looks the goods and has some pretty good numbers too in his minor league career.
Yeah, and again, with this third mention already, Ulrich
Pajarski.
Yes.
Just a kid, 18 years of age, just absolutely smashing the pill, which is, something that Perth were lacking last year.
Yep.
The offence was a little bit down, so he's going to add a little bit to those guys. And the other big news out of Perth, obviously TK back, who can smash the pill. And old mate, Lukey Hughes, had a really good start of the season.
He did, and talking ex-Perth now, Alan D. Sand.
Oh, what about D-San? Yeah, absolutely ripped it up round 1. Smashed it to the tune of 8 ribbies, I think.
Against his old boys.
Against the old club, which is... So now we've had the Candyman doing damage to his old club, and also D-San is the man and has done some damage against the not-so-happy Heaters when he was up there.
No, not at all.
Absolutely.
And just talking, going back to the Bandits, Aaron Whitefield tearing it up in the bases. He's got 5 swipes already. Another
impressive kid, done a really good job. There's been a lot of stolen bases in the couple of series so far. A couple of blokes from Melbourne and got the wheels on. Acuna is being stealing up.
Stealing home.
Managed to steal home, which is a
key situation.
Yeah, just right behind us. Managed to do the old Jackie Robinson special, steal home. So pretty impressive stuff. What about pitches, mate? You've seen the impressive pitches so far?
Well, I'm going straight back to my favourite, Craig Anderson.
Getting it done.
Yeah, just flipping it over, doing what he does.
Just keeps finding a way, doesn't he?
And on the flip side of that is we're doing a bit of an anti from last year, where last year the Brisbane bullpen was dominant with Timms and Searle being the 2 main contributors.
Yep.
They've got a loss next to their name already this year.
I'll tell you what though, the big dog Ryan Searle has got 10 strikeouts in just a lazy 3.2 innings, I believe.
Well, I'm not saying he's a bad pitcher, but the stats aren't exactly looking quite as overall
had a bit
friendly
of a hiccup over the weekend,
year.
Absolutely. But he's going to be the man, obviously, all season for the Brisbane Bandits. You don't want to be playing those guys in a close game, trailing by 1 or 2 runs, because they shut the door pretty well, don't they?
Tom Bailey.
Tom Bailey, strikeout king over in the West, done a really good job, leads the strikeouts at the moment. Obviously, really handy for him to be sort of come to the fore. They'll have big Wazza Salpole join them probably out of the pen.
Very handy,
around about Christmas time, which starts Christmas. So there's going to be another big addition for the Heat.
Melbourne Aces, they've got the Honda motor buzzing.
The Honda, they got the Honda hamburger combination. You got to love the Honda hamburger combination. Both guys that starting in the 1 and 2 spots generally, really impressive pitches.
I'm surprised it's taken this long to mention hamburger.
You know I love the hamburger. He's a really impressive guy who throws it hard. He's banged around, played a lot of baseball, obviously big leagues at one stage, Triple A, the Texas organisation, and has, I think, St. Paul Saints in the independent leagues last time, but has really sort of worked on his craft. He used to throw like high 90s, now he sort of sits down at about 92, 91, 92, but has some really good stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of guys that have been hard throwers for a while, Matty Williams.
Matty Williams, once again, very important outings for the Bite over the weekend. Came in and did some great work for the Bite, as he always does.
And that's where he's so valuable, his versatility. He can be a starter, or he can come in like he did the other night in an extra inning game. Just leave him in there. Let him throw 3 or 4 or whatever out of the pen.
I think I recall him last year almost saving some games for himself. He was in double headers, like come in for the start and one, and then back it up with come in for the save in the second game. So,
with a much more streamlined look this year too.
Yeah, that's right. Lost a bit of the old Ned Kelly. Yeah, so he's a bit trimmer on the old face.
New man.
Love the man. Perfect.
Last guy.
Last guy.
Your mate. Yeah, right. 15-year-old mate. Brody Vasilakis.
Vasilakis. Yeah, he's racked up a few Ks already.
Oh, he's throwing 5 and 2/3, I think, already. So
it's pretty impressive for a kid of his age. Like, just unbelievable.
It'd be really good to see him get a fair body of work in this year, just to see what he's made of, and geez, he could be anything.
Yeah, tip of the hat to the young fella and all those kids around the leg that are really ripping it up so far.
Definitely.
Okay, and now to the part of the show where we get interactive. We've got some tweets of the week, Kloeden, that I've been trolling across Twitter to find out some of the ABL fans and what they've been saying.
There's been a little bit going on around with the league getting up and running. A few blokes getting their feelings felt.
Yep. People certainly say what they think. There's been some interesting, so we've had to vet some of them for for our PG audience. So
we've been left with a couple.
So we've left with a few.
Yeah.
So here's what we've got. So this one's from Cricket K, who not only is a massive ABL fan, doesn't mind playing a bit of ball herself, and is also she runs the ABL Fantasy League for those diehards that like a bit of fantasy baseball.
Commish.
She's the commish. So Cricket K. So she said, "I streamed 2 gig of data to listen to the ABL Sox Cavs while driving back to Sydney from the Blue Mountains, and the game is still going." That was, of course, the Slugfest, 21-11. So that's a massive fan for you. Someone that's streaming the game on their way back from Blue Mountains.
They've got a lot of data at their disposal.
Well played. What about one from the self there, Kloeden? What do you got there? One from the Adelaide Bite.
Adelaide Bite themselves. Okay, we admit it. Sydney Blue Sox are a bunch of good-looking winners, just like their fans. Thanks for the series. Blue Sox Bite bet.
That was a bit of a bet between the Twitter feeds from the Sydney Blue Sox and the Adelaide Bite going at it, and of course with the Sox winning that series in round 1, the Bite had to praise the Sox fans.
And obviously they're a good-looking bunch of roosters.
We got one here from Bob Blair, who says, "Enjoying watching live from Chicago Cubs and Railcats country." Now the Railcats are, of course, the Gary South Shore Railcats, who are the home of Dan Vaughan, who is the he announces for them over in Gary, and he's now announcing, of course, in our season for the Perth Heat.
Yep.
So well done to Bob Blair, who loves seeing the warm weather, because obviously it's a bit chilly over there at the moment.
Good on you, Bob.
Well played, Bob. Old mate.
Xavier Player, the X-Man. In the 2,212 days since the reformed ABL began, today is the second day where the Melbourne Aces have a winning away record. Xavier has a lot of time on his hands to work out these stats, I believe.
So Xavier, he's a school teacher by trade, so he also likes crunching the numbers.
Short days, start at 9, finish at 3.
That's exactly right, mate. Obviously, like the kids do some quiet reading, and I'll just bang some stats out.
I've got some numbers to count.
So he's come up with in the 2,212 days that the Melbourne Aces have 2 days when they had a winning away record, and that was, of course, after game 1 of the recent 4-game series against the Adelaide Bite, which was unceremoniously finished when the Bite won the next 3 games.
Yes.
Okay, we got one here from one of my favourite feeds, ABL Comms, who's his grammar's not fantastic, but his content's always pretty good. The Wollongong weather report: strong wind blowing out, gravity at half strength.
Aha.
Of course, once again during the Slugfest,
Couple homers hit.
was a bit concerned about the gravity, the big fella with the balls just flying out of there.
Well played.
And finally, Kloeden, to our friends from the Melbourne Aces, who had a bit of joy in what was not a fantastic weekend.
He stole home to tie it up and then scored again to put the Aces ahead in the top of the ninth. Ronald Acuna, you're a star. And I'll tell you what, that was a pretty exciting play that happened when he did it too.
It's pretty impressive. You don't see that too often in the ABL.
Well, I think you can be called a star for that, so that's a fair call by the Aces.
Well played. All right, so guys, be interactive. Get on the Twitter feed for ABL Hot Corner. Let us know when you're making shout-outs and doing your best comedic work, and you might find yourself one here next week. All right, players, we're going to wrap things up shortly with our picks for round 3. So we'll catch you soon.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about round 3. We've got 3 big series coming up, Kloeden. So Series 1, Adelaide Bite are travelling to Canberra to take on the Cavalry. Should be a pretty tough series over there with some pretty red-hot bats for the Cavs. Who's going to win? How many games and why? All 4-game series, by the way.
I am going to sit on the fence entirely right here and go the split. I think the combination of some pretty good pitching that the Bite have started off with, and a lot of homers, a lot of offense for the Cavs, so I'm going to go the split.
Love it, like it. Couldn't agree any more, Clothes. I'm going to split as well. I think a couple of Adelaide starters looking good so far, which will stand them in good stead to good showing.
I think so.
With the hot bats of the Cavs will also give them a good showing as well. So 2-2 for me as well.
What about you with the Aces from Melbourne travelling up north to the Bandits from Brisbane?
Well, Melbourne Aces are travelling, so it can't be good news for them. And Brisbane Bandits red hot, looking the goods. I'll take 3-1 for the Bandits. I'll give Melbourne 1 because I still think they're a much improved team on what they had last year.
Well, that's what I was going to say, but just for the point of difference, I'm going to go the sweep. I think Brisbane are a very, very good team.
So if Brizzy sweep the Aces, will they just decide not to play any more away games for the whole season?
Fair chance.
They might shut it down?
Fair chance.
Unbelievable. They've got to show something, don't they? But this is a big series for them to show something on the road because they have got a couple of good starters. They look like they've got some bit of pace on the base pass.
Definitely.
So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Definitely.
Finally, the Perth Heat travelling to Sydney to take on the Blue Sox. How do you see that one panning out?
I'm going to go Sydney 3-1 purely because they're playing at home. It's to be honest, I think both of those teams are a lot of unknowns. To be honest, I think Perth, if they show up, they could just dominate. But I'm going to go with the home team 3-1.
A couple of Sydney imports have looked pretty good, so that might stand good stead. But I'm going to go for the split and say 2-2. And I'm going to say that apart from Ulrich, who obviously been the man because he's talked about it all night, it's about time for our boy Joey Wong to step it up. He's had a bit of a struggle so far.
Very slow start in the lead-off spot.
But we know he's a very good quality player. So I think I'm going to get on the Wong Meister. Going to get on Joey. Jump on the Joey. Jump on the Joey's back.
You can sort that out.
And we'll take Perth and Blue Sox 2-2
Done.
myself.
No dramas. We'll revisit these tips next week.
Sensational. Well, thanks for being with us for our first program for the year. Stick with us next week when we'll be brought to you again by Viva. Get on the website, buy your gear, use a bit of an example of what sort of quality stuff you can get, a bit of merch, and be interactive with us. Get on the Facebook page, the ABL Hot Corner Facebook page, get on the Twitter, shout us out, let us know what's cooking, and look forward to seeing us next week, and we'll be looking for some interviews and a bit of player interaction. So until then, it's Brook, Kilpatrick and
Jamie Kloeden
signing off. Thanks for being with us.